Hello and welcome to the second episode of the For Future Reference podcast. I'm Noah, your host, and Grayson, my other host, co-hosting, is right here. Say hello.
Your host? Your
I'm
other host? Wow.
co-host.
Co-host. Okay.
Side ho.
Side hoe. Grayson, my other side hoe.
Exactly.
You implying you have more than one.
Well, of course. How could I not? All right. So today, let's see. They did surgery on a grape. So we'll talk about that.
I legitimately thought that you had forgotten about that and that you were just gonna go right into the this day in history. I thought
No, we're going to talk about surgery on a grape. So the story goes, the narrative, as you will.
I don't know that there's a story to this, but
I think there's a story. Let me tell you.
All right.
They did surgery on a grape. That's what they did.
That's it.
It's a story. That's a story.
What a story, Mark.
So good, you could almost say it's great.
Wow, what a story, Mark. Did you say grape? Oh! I'm so mad at you right now.
I'm taking all the fruit puns. Just right off the bat.
You better get that out of the way, buddy.
Yeah, I'm really gonna get it out of the way.
No more fruit puns for you.
I don't think I have any more.
That's good.
But so I guess we'll talk about the state of memes right now.
Right now?
Grayson, take it away.
Wait, did you want to do memes or talk about this day in history? Because I had stuff planned for that.
All right, let's skip the memes straight to this day in history.
And then we can circle back around to memes if you're really invested in it.
Not really. We can skip it.
Okay. No memes today, guys. If you do want memes, though, allow me to plug you the Discord channel that is linked in the description, and you can check that out. And there's plenty of memes on there. Tell your friends. Anyway, okay. So on this day in history, no, I know you have one, but the origin of species, the full title is "On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection," and that is a book by Charles Darwin. It was published. And Charles Darwin, if you don't know who that is, get an education. What are you, 5 years old? Did you even go to school? Did you even learn about evolution? Darwin is the guy. He's the guy. He was big into studying animals and nerdy stuff like that. What a geek. Yeah, so some loser named Darwin made a book today, and it came out today. So that's today. No, he's not a loser. He's an important guy, He studied animals. I was telling Noah earlier, I think that if Darwin had not been so into animals and studying them and breaking down how they evolve and adapt to their environments and all that silly stuff, that people probably wouldn't want to study animals today. So, kind of an influential dude.
Yeah, definitely. Animals are cool. I definitely say that animals are cool. So I think it's a good thing that he did the thing that he did. It's great.
I would say that animals are cool. That is a real quote by you.
It's pretty. That's a direct quote. Don't verify that.
I would say animals are cool.
It's pretty bold thing to say.
It's bold. You're so brave.
It's so brave. Yeah. All right. Did you want to move on to mine?
If you must.
I don't have that much to say about him. Honestly, I don't really know that much about him.
Who?
Darwin.
Oh, Charles Darwin. Okay. Yeah. Do yours.
Okay. So today was also the first televised live murder, which was
murder.
Yeah. Lee Harvey Oswald was murdered by. Don't laugh. Was murdered by Jack Ruby on November 24th, 1963. So he was basically being escorted out of the police station, and Jack Ruby was like, "I don't think so." Popped a cap in him, and he was dead.
You know what I totally forgot to say at the beginning of the episode?
What's that?
Today is November 24th, 2019.
Oh, today's... Yep. That's true. That's a true statement. Yeah. Which is why we're talking about these two things.
This better not be a recurring thing.
Hopefully not. We'll get it down one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting because the one thing about it is like he pleaded innocent. Like at his like initial trial, he pleaded innocent, and then they did like a retrial. And as he was waiting for the retrial, this is Jack Ruby. As he was waiting for the retrial, he died of lung cancer. But the reason he pleaded innocent was actually because he said he was unconscious of the act, and that he suffered from, and I'm going to butcher this, psychomotor epilepsy. So he pleaded innocent. But previously was saying that he was angry, so he went out and killed the guy. So I don't know. Seems like a nutcase to me.
Well, we'll never know.
There you have it. Yep, because he died from smoking. I don't know if it was smoking that gave him lung cancer, but
we will never know why he did what he did.
I mean, it seems pretty cut and dry. He didn't like the fact that he assassinated a guy.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think that there's so much like mystery surrounding the Kennedy assassination that there's never not going to be conspiracy theories about it, you know.
Well, I mean, this is the normie narrative, as I like to call it. So,
what do you mean?
There very well may be much more to uncover with the Kennedy assassination. That's true.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Yeah. All right. So, music. We listened to that this week,
and it was not exciting necessarily.
Tell me how you felt about Maroon 5's "It Won't Be Soon Before Long."
Okay, so with this album, I liked it. I didn't like it as much as their first album, but I liked it still. Some of my top songs were "Wake Up Call," "Good Night," yeah, really good. "Good Night," and "Won't Go Home Without You."
Okay.
And I really did like these particular songs. I think that Maroon 5 has this kind of interesting way of how like they're really like I feel like they're really intentional about their music. Like everything's like really specific in their songs, and it doesn't seem like really loose or like seems just really like really professionally done in how everything's really specific.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it feels like there's like no room for error in their songs. Like there's just like a lot of little like small like sounds and notes and things like that that kind of play into the whole vibe. And I do like them. You're kind of turning me onto them a little bit here, the first two albums. But it does have some up and downs. Like I did like how, you know, in the song "Won't Go Home Without You," it's very like it's kind of like a softer sort of like smoother song, and then it kind of goes back like in like the song "Can't Stop." It gets kind of energetic and like pretty high energy, and I like how he kind of balances those two different sort of tones throughout the album. Overall, I thought it was really good. I liked the previous album better, but I'm interested to really check out their music more as I'm listening to them. I do like them.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I remember this is one of the first albums that I really loved the whole thing. I don't know if I like it better than Songs About Jane, but I like them both a lot. Oh god, it's so good. What kills me is that like it's so many different kinds of music all wrapped into one album.
It does seem pretty varied in the types of music going on.
I mean, you have like the slow stuff, "Back at Your Door," such a good song, but like it's slower and more romantic. And then you got stuff like "Kiwi," where they have that sick guitar solo at the end of the song that just feels like it comes out of nowhere. And then high energy with "Can't Stop," but I think the intro is incredible. Like "If I Never See Your Face Again," that's like a great intro to the album.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked it. I think I think it definitely had a good mix. That's the one thing that I feel like with a lot of music, like with like Dan Auerbach's work with what we talked about last week, the the Arcs album.
Yeah.
It all kind of blends together a little bit,
Uh,
and I think that Maroon Five I think they do a good job with like their albums and mixing it up. I think in this album more than their first one, I think they do mix it up a lot more in this one, and it doesn't really you don't feel like you're kind of getting tired of the same old. I think they mix it up probably more here than they do in the previous one. This one is more of like a rhythm sort of change that varies throughout the album, and I think the first one was more of like a narrative change that kind of changed throughout the album. But I really liked how yeah, it changed a lot of the tones of the music, and higher energy and more of like a romantic love song. Um, so I liked it. I did.
awesome, man. Cool.
Alrighty, and so you listened to Dan Auerbach's "Keep It Hid." What do you
Yep.
think?
He's talented. He's good.
It's hard to deny.
I don't like this album though.
Why not?
It's all over the place, man. It's
Yeah.
just he can't. Like, I don't know. I think individually the songs are really good, but they all start. It's the same problem I had last time. On the last podcast. It was just like some songs were so similar, and like I think the lyricism was really good, the writing was really good, but just the arrangement was just droning. I found myself getting bored several times listening to the album, um, which is sad because I know that like he probably put. I hate giving like not good reviews to albums because I know how much work people put into it, but it doesn't feel like he put a lot of work into this one.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Um, I think he probably put more work into his second solo album than he did his first.
Yeah.
But I do really like his first, "Keep It Hid," just because of how it seems very organic, whether or not there was like a considerable amount of work, like literal work put into it.
Yeah.
I think it's very true to his style.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, like whether you like it or hate it, I mean that's pretty much his style. And I mean I really like the style. And I think if you don't like the style that much, you're probably not going to find a lot of enjoyment in it.
I really didn't. So, yeah. I
Well-
mean, like, I don't want to like be dishing your guy here, but yeah.
No, I mean it's you kind of take it or leave it with him. I think that you really kind of love him or you hate him.
But
Um,
yeah, but I mean, I love the Black Keys though. I think they're great.
Yeah. I don't know why you don't like because the Black Keys their first stuff was pretty similar to because this one
Yeah,
has
I don't know, but like, it's just different. It's just different. This feels like I couldn't really get into it. I just feel like there was so much more of a collaborative effort put into Black Keys, whereas like the musical arrangements are a lot more memorable. Like this just feels kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I think that Dan Auerbach is probably his best when he's working with other people. He did produce one of my favorite artists, Hani El Katab. He produced his second album, and it was a considerable increase in everything about his first album.
Yeah.
Hani El Katab's second album was a huge improvement. I think that had a lot to do with Dan Auerbach. I think he's really good like producing music and being like a collaborator, as opposed to just being a solo artist. So I think that's probably where he really shines, even though I do like his solo stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's my review. I guess some songs that I was into was Street Walking was pretty good. I really loved I think the intro track Trouble Weighs a Ton. That was really interesting to me. It was very like personal.
It really was,
Yeah.
and I like that song a lot.
It's really good. Just him on the acoustic guitar, with a little bit of finger picking there, and yeah, I think it was really good. It was really intimate.
Yeah, I feel like he does do that with this album. Like he gets pretty organic
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
with it.
and I like that part of it, but I just think that the musical arrangement is so just repetitive.
It does kind of drone on. I'll give that to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably you know par for the course with Dan.
Mm.
I think that yeah, I really like Whispered Words. That's probably my favorite on the album.
I
I
don't
really
know
like
if I
that one a lot.
remember that one.
It's just it has like really good like I don't know how to describe it, but it has like really good like sweeping up and down. I guess kind of rhythm, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't know that the problem is I don't know terribly too much about music to really describe it accurately.
I
Um,
understand.
but yeah, I don't know. I really like this album. I like his work, and you'll probably be hearing a lot of them. So get used to it, bud.
Cool, man. Cool, cool, cool.
Alrighty. So out of 10, what are you thinking?
Ooh, gosh. I was dreading this.
No, yeah, I'm totally gonna
God,
get
for
you to give a score
me,
there.
5.
5 out of 10.
I think that's being generous too. Just because I think he's a really good songwriter.
Yeah, I think his lyrics are probably the best part of this album.
Yeah, he's a great songwriter, and the lyrics are really good. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10 for me. And that it sucks telling you that because I know you really love him as an artist. I feel really bad. I
No,
don't.
I
Yeah,
appreciate the honesty.
yeah. But that's me, man. What would you? I think you didn't rate on your scale the Maroon 5 album.
Yeah, so seeing as I'm doing the letterbox
Yeah. Yes.
standard,
You and your letterbox standard.
I'm gonna apply it just to music from now on. Actually, I'm gonna apply it to everything. How about
The
that?
music box standard.
Yeah, Maroon Five. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. 3.5 out of 5, which I liked it. That's pretty much if I give it a 3.5, that means I liked it. And I think it would have been a like I think the previous album I gave like a 4
Mm-hmm.
because I really like that one. But this one I enjoyed it. Not as good as the first one, but I still did like it a lot.
Cool. Cool, man. All right. So let's move on to our next topic here. That was music. Thank you, Noah. Let's what have we got here? Well, I've got a few things. What did you have next?
I can run through. Do you want to run through a couple movies that maybe you and I saw separately, and then after that dive into Scott Pilgrim?
Sure.
All right. I'll go ahead and start. I did get a chance to watch The Grinch. It's a. I'll go ahead and give you the Rotten Tomatoes. It's sitting at a 56 on Rotten Tomatoes, which I feel like is pretty accurate. I'm giving it a 2.5 because yeah, 2.5 out of 5. It's okay. It's like maybe a little bit above average. It just to me felt like a pretty copy paste cash grab by the Illumination Studio because you'll know them by their many works on the Minions and Despicable Me movies.
Oh no. Yeah.
And gosh, I just had such a bad taste in my mouth from Minions that it kind of distracted me. Honestly, all I could think is like, man, this is the animation style is just it's completely ripped from like the Minions.
Like you're half expecting a minion to pop up.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I would not be surprised. I bet there's probably like if you like really scan for it, there's probably like a Minion toy in the movie. I'd put $20 on it. But yeah, the animation was like okay. It's just kind of reeking of the Minion movies. There's nothing really interesting about it. It was Cumberbatch doing the Grinch. I think he did an okay job.
Really?
I still love Jim Carrey.
I didn't know.
Yeah. I couldn't really peg his voice. I was listening to it. I was like, this sounds so familiar. But yeah, I looked it up. It was Cumberbatch. I don't know his first name. Benedict. Yeah.
I
and
think
it was
his real name is Beneficial Cucumber. Or
there's a good possibility of that being the case.
Benicio del Cumbersnatch.
Oh my gosh. That's something else right there. And so was this movie. It was definitely something else. Something else that was just like everything else, basically. It was Just a cash grab. I didn't really like it terribly too much. It's fine.
Now let me ask you, Noah.
Go
Why
ahead.
would you go spend money to see The Grinch?
I'll tell you why. Okay, this is why I did that. Because I went to a lovely place called the Goochland Drive-In, which I will happily give airtime because they're amazing. Owner's super great there. They have some of the best food. It's like $1 for a hamburger, and I eat a crap ton of food whenever I come because it's amazing. And I have a little story actually
They're
about
not
the.
sponsoring this episode, by the way.
No, they're not, but they're amazing,
And
and they should.
They
Yeah,
should.
exactly. Next time I go, I'll talk to him about it because he might be interested. Anyway, I went because it's a great experience, and I get to park my car and eat an absorbent amount of food and watch a movie that I don't really care about. So that's why I went. And they didn't really have anything else playing. The other choices were terrible. But yeah, so I watched that. Did you watch anything?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
All right,
well, yeah. I mean, yeah. But like, I wasn't planning on talking about it, but I guess we can.
Yeah, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah. So I saw. Actually, today I watched The Dirty Dozen.
How was that?
Really good. I couldn't name a single actor except for Jim Brown, the football player who used to be on the Cleveland Browns. He was the only guy who I knew in the whole movie, and it was really, really good. It was an excellent World War II movie, and I really liked it. And that's about all I have.
Yeah, when did it come out?
It was like 60s or something. I don't know the exact. I wasn't planning on talking about it, so I don't know. Let me do a quick Google search here.
All right, I'll vamp. I watched 2 other movies. I watched Halloween Resurrection, which in my notes I put bad. And then I watched Halloween H2O.
1967, by the way.
Nice, 67.
It's only got a 7.8 out of 10. You know what? That's actually pretty fair.
What is that, IMDb?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. IMDb, you're not really going to see a lot of high ratings on there.
It's a pretty good movie. I liked it. 86% of Google users like this movie.
I don't care about Google users.
Hey, I use Google, buddy. I'll have you know I'm a Google user. I'm a Google user. I use Google.
Well, I'm more of a Bing user because in like 200 more searches, I'm going to get my free Amazon $5 gift card.
I'm a Googler. I Google movies. I Google my movies. What do you do with your movies, Noah?
I watch my movies. I don't Google my movies.
I Google my movies, man. I always make sure to get the Google user review before I watch a movie.
The most accurate.
Man, I don't really care about critics. You know, I'm not really a big critic guy. I don't check out IMDb. Yeah. I don't check out Rotten Tomatoes. I'm a Google user. So I only trust other Google users.
I don't know that I'd really trust a Google user. Now, if it was a Bing rating, if they Bing ratings on movies,
talking about me here. I'm a Google user. You don't trust me?
Bing is where it's at. Google looks all dumb with its stupid colored fonts. I want to go on Bing. I want to see turtle migration patterns while I'm trying to look stuff up. That's what I want to see.
Turtle migration patterns.
That's what you get with Bing. You learn something. Okay.
They do have pretty backgrounds.
They do have really pretty backgrounds. Pretty great.
Did you know they did like a points program where you get points? Dude,
I just telling you about that.
Free stuff to redeem free stuff with your points by literally binging anything.
Yeah, I've already gotten like 5 Starbucks and Amazon gift cards. I'm about to get another one.
That is such a cash grab.
It's
not a cash grab, but a user grab, you know?
Oh, it's amazing. It really is, but it's great because I like their search engine. Plus, I get me some gift cards.
Every time I go to log in, it says, please sign in with your email address, and it's my email at gmail.com. And I always feel like dirty or something typing that in. I'm like, ugh. I don't think they like this.
No, they're like, all right. We'll slow his bandwidth down.
We'll take you.
All right.
It has 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way. The Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is I usually trust Rotten Tomatoes over IMDb.
91 on Rotten Tomatoes and 7.8 on IMDb. That's a bit of a difference there.
Yeah, but I kind of come to expect that. That's usually how it goes. Rotten Tomatoes is pretty volatile as far as going up and down. IMDb usually stays pretty steady between like 5s and 7s.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I didn't. So under Halloween H2O, put bad. Both bad. All right. Moving on.
That's it? That's all you wanted to say?
I didn't really. They just. Gosh, Halloween Resurrection is just such a joke movie. It's just. It's. I was laughing way more than I was scared. I don't know if that was the intention or not. I really don't. H2O was better. I didn't hate it. It was just not great. I don't know. I feel like Halloween, there's so much there that you can do, and I don't know. It was not amazing, but alrighty. Let me see. I did see a really good movie, Stars Born. It's fantastic.
Okay. Loved
it. Highly recommended. Not really a fan of that kind of music necessarily, but I feel like the story and the performances they really grab me.
Is it country music? I haven't seen it.
It's like southern rock. It leans into country a little bit, and I actually like southern rock and sort of outlaw music.
Yeah.
But I'm not too big into it. Like I love Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash is amazing, but he really fell into like folk and rockabilly and rock and roll and country. Like he fell into a lot of different categories.
Yeah.
But this seemed pretty like country rock kind of country.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really, really good. Cinematography was really good, especially with the stage performances. I think they did that really well. I think the overall performances, as far as actors and actresses go, I thought that was really well done. I had no idea that what's the guy's name?
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. Thank you. Yeah, I had no idea he could sing. And
yeah, he's very multi-talented.
He seems to be. He's very good. Lady Gaga. I was kind of surprised because I don't really know much of her work, but she was really good.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Lady Gaga.
I'm not so sure on that one.
I think it is.
Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll go with it, I guess. But yeah, it was really well acted, very well written. I mean, I know it's a copy of another movie. Not really a copy, but... but yeah, it's really good. I enjoyed it.
Cool, man. That's good to hear. I'll probably see it soon. And by probably, I mean probably not. Because I don't get to go to the movies that much anymore.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I miss it.
Well, maybe we can go and see it then.
Look, man. You listen here.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really fun.
All right, sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Did you want to jump into Scott Pilgrim?
Yes.
Okay.
My God. First of all, I would like to express my frustration at the fact that Amanda, your girlfriend, would not give this movie a chance.
She was asleep half the time, really.
I know. And that's sad because there were a few jokes that I was excited to... I was like, oh, I wonder if she'll think that's funny.
Yep. Nope. Out like a light. Well, she's been suffering from like sleeping problems, so I don't hold it against her.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, I'll force her to watch it some way or another.
Oh, okay. I mean,
it wasn't. It didn't have a malicious intent. I'm just saying. I'll just watch it.
All right.
I'm not gonna hold her eyes open.
Man, hey.
Unless she doesn't watch it, then I'll have to resort to that. Anyway,
she's your girlfriend, man. You do what you want, you know.
I'll do me, and you do you. Okay.
You do you.
All right. But yeah. Okay. So I loved it. I love this movie, and at first I was like, I don't really want to watch this again because I just watched it the first time last month.
I watched it for the first time last week with my friend Jeremiah.
Seriously?
Yeah. And
oh man, it's so good.
Loved it. It is one of my new most favorite movies of all time. I am not even exaggerating that. It is one of my new most favorite movies of all time. I love it so much.
No, I don't blame you. I really love who's the director again? It's Edgar Wright. I really love his work.
Right. Oh, sorry, I said that while I was yawning.
Yeah. Anyway, he's really good. And some of his other movies, Shaun of the Dead, Hot
Yes.
Fuzz,
Yes.
and Baby Driver. And I really, really like Baby Driver initially. It's kind of lost its edge on me a little bit,
Really?
but as a, yeah, I
Is
don't
that
know. I
just
feel like
because Kevin Spacey is a boy toucher?
no, I'm actually totally fine with that. I have no problems at all. There's
What?
really,
What? Hey,
just
he's a
kidding.
kitty diddler, man.
I mean,
You
to
can't
each their
say
own, right?
that stuff.
I'm just kidding. No, I
I
don't
want
know
to
that much
know.
about him.
I want to know whose idea it was to put him in a movie called Billionaire
Baby.
Boys Club.
Oh boy, that
Billionaire
man. In
Boys
retrospect, that's
Club.
pretty funny.
Didn't that movie
Um,
make like $6 in the box office anyway?
I don't know. I didn't. I'm not too familiar with that movie.
The Spacey Curse.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I liked his acting.
He's a good
Um,
actor. He's
yeah.
a kitty diddler
Um,
though, so that kind of cancels it out for me.
yeah, maybe just a little bit. But no, I don't know. I felt like the script, the dialogue in that movie was just really like bad. I don't know. I rewatched it and I was like,
Baby
gosh,
Driver?
yeah, it's just so like cartoony and just hard to like.
Bro, Jamie Foxx plays such a realistic character though.
No, absolutely not.
Are you
And this is
kidding
coming.
me?
This is coming from somebody who loved this movie initially. Like I loved this movie initially, and I'm like, I've seen it probably 4 times now.
Yeah, I've seen it
Um,
about 4 times.
yeah, and the dialogue just kept getting like, okay, this is cartoony. And I kind of get that it's cartoony, but I don't know. I found myself not liking it more and more.
Interesting.
I still really like the movie, but I do have a lot more problems with that than I do something like Scott Pilgrim. I love Scott Pilgrim.
Fair enough. I can't
All
fault
right.
you for that. But anyway, so Scott Pilgrim is amazing to me because it's just so like it's well done all across the board. I think it's one of those things where the cinematography is fantastic. It's written so well. The special effects are great. The animations and pretty much everything about it is done incredibly professionally and really, really well.
Yeah, it does have a very, very polished feel. Like everything is just super well done. I completely agree. Um, I don't know. Did you want to talk about it for a little bit? What you liked and what you didn't like?
Sure. So I liked pretty much everything. um, some things I didn't like. I feel like a little bit of the humor didn't age that well, as far as the like the cute Japanese cutesy stuff. I feel like it's a little cringe, you know.
Yeah, I felt like that was a little bit cringy. I didn't. I mean,
But
you could maybe make the argument that that was the joke, maybe, but I don't know. It wasn't.
no, I don't think so. I think at the time that was specifically catering towards internet subgroups and people who were super into anime, you know.
Yeah, this movie definitely does make fun of subgroups pretty.
It's so
Internet
good.
subgroup. Yeah,
It makes
it's really
fun of
good.
everything, and I love it. I love that it is able to make fun of so much.
Even itself at one point in
Yes.
the movie,
Yes.
with all the fourth wall breaking and stuff like that, and it's
Amazing.
so good.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah, I think that some of the humor maybe didn't age well, but I think that overall a lot of it was really funny. Um, like I love the scene where Aubrey Plaza's character, her like she's like just hurling obscenities at Pilgrim, and her mouth is just like bleeping,
Mm-hmm.
like keeps bleeping itself, and
Yeah.
he's like so confused at the fact that she can even do that. And it's I think that's hilarious, and it's just like another way that this movie. And then there's that other scene where Knives is talking to him. She's like, "I've never kissed a boy," and he's like, "I haven't either." And it's just it's such the jokes are so well written in this movie. Um,
It's so
but
good.
yeah, and I was looking up like just some interesting facts about it. Apparently, Kim's the drummer, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, she only blinks in this movie like once or twice.
What?
Like her eyes are like locked open. Yeah,
That's
because
nuts.
and I can totally like recall like her having this weird face about her. Like she was just so like something off about it, and I think that's what it was, is because she like barely ever blinked. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I didn't really read that much into it, but gosh, it's so weird. Just really weird little details that he puts in these movies,
Uh,
which I really like. Like there's like a lot of foreshadowing of the X's,
oh yeah.
and like he has that patch on his shoulder, X-Men patch, and then like the snow, like the snow paths. There's like they go on an X, and then there's a swing set, and the shadow that the swing set makes is like an X.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of foreshadowing. I really like that about it. And then with what's his name? Guy who plays Captain America. What's his name? Chris Evans. Chris
Yeah.
Evans is foreshadowed in the TV with his roommate, which was pretty great.
So funny.
Yeah, and his character was really great. Apparently, those are also his like the stunt doubles that were in the movie were like his real life, like his actual stunt doubles.
Oh, for real?
Which, yeah, I mean, it would make sense, right? That the stunt doubles in the movie for the actor
That's
would be
awesome.
the stunt doubles for the actual actor himself. But yeah, I love this movie. There's just so many little details that he puts in here. It just seems so like meticulously crafted. The whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That's one of the reasons why I love it so much, because you can tell there's so much time and effort put into it. You know.
yeah, he seems to be very specific about stuff, and you would really like Hot Fuzz if you like this. I mean, it's Edgar Wright, but all his movies do kind of carry that same sort of like really really specific, intentional movie making where everything's like super like there's all these weird little Easter eggs and like and things that he's put into the movie that you would with every rewatch you kind of like notice more and more and more, and I really like that. It really gives you something to kind of come back to, honestly.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. It
Yeah.
is a movie that is fantastic in pretty much every way, and I think that I will always love this movie, and I'll show it to all my good friends who haven't seen it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Also, I like how there's like little like Zelda sounds in the beginning
Yeah.
that kind of cracked me up.
Yeah.
Um,
Like the 8-bit
Actually,
intro for Universal.
oh yeah, that was really good. Um, but there's also like, are you familiar with the artist Beck?
A little. Yeah. I know some
Um,
of his music.
he's featured in a lot of Edgar Wright movies,
Mm-hmm.
and he actually wrote the song Ramona for the which I don't remember. Does he ever actually add lyrics in that song?
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
In the end credits,
In the end
there's
credits, that's
more.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Beck wrote that one. He also did. He composed a lot of the music for Sex Bomb.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think he even performed the music for their thing at the where they did the Clash or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he actually performed, I think, the Sex Bomb's music. So he's pretty big portion of the movie was like Beck's. Like he had a big role in that, which was really good because I like Beck a lot.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's done a lot of really good music.
I still find myself humming Where It's At every now and then.
Is that a Beck song?
No, Noah. Of course it's a Beck song, yes.
Well, I'm not. I didn't know about that one.
That's like one of his biggest songs, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't think I know that one. Yeah,
Wow.
I like his I'm trying to think. He did I like the song Deborah and that whole album, and then I only know a couple of his albums, so I probably missed that one.
That's fair. Alright. I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's very near and dear to my heart.
Uh-huh.
It makes me very sad to say.
Okay.
My RuneScape account got hacked.
Oh no.
I lost
Stays and so.
I lost a stack of about 3.8 million gold, and I've been having to slowly gain it back through alchemy, and it really
Man,
sucks because I worked really hard to get that money.
that's tough.
It is really tough.
Well, I'm here for you, buddy. Anytime you need it.
I appreciate it. I might need a shoulder to cry on.
Possibly, I'll be right there for you. I don't really know that much about RuneScape, so
That's okay. you know, all that matters is that I got friends who were there for me. It was very
Yeah.
traumatic. I went to open my bank account and I couldn't find it. And I was like, "Where's my money?" And there was nothing in there. And I looked
You,
and I looked and I looked and I looked and it wasn't gone. It was gone.
can't you just spend real money to get that back?
No, they don't have in game. They don't have real money purchases.
Wait, you're telling me they don't have microtransactions?
There are no microtransactions in
It's not
RuneScape.
a real game if it doesn't have microtransactions. If
Apparently
EA has
not
taught
these
me
days.
anything,
Yeah, if gaming has taught me anything, it's that microtransactions are the game.
they make the game. They really do. Well, that's sad. I'm sorry about that.
When are they going to have
Well,
a video game where you just buy nothing and that's the game?
like there's no microtransactions or there's no
It's
in-game
just the
economy.
whole game is microtransactions. And you're not buying anything. You're just pressing the purchase button over and over. And it
Mhm.
makes like interesting colors.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm sure there's some indie game out there for you that's just perfect.
It's called Don't Spend Money on This Game. And like whenever you spend money on it or like make like a $5 donation to the game, it plays like a little light show and like some neat noises. And that's it.
Hmm.
That's a really good idea. I feel like the internet is so stupid
Hmm.
that they might actually spend money on that.
That's what I was about to say. How much is it on Steam?
Yeah, how much is it? Where can I find that?
Well, it's free, but there's some microtransactions.
Yeah, there's one or two
that unlock
microtransactions.
portions of the game.
Yeah.
Interestingly, it was an indie game that EA promoted.
Oh,
Might be something there.
EA, that makes sense.
Yep,
Yeah.
makes sense. All right, so what is to wrap up Scott Pilgrim? What's the rating you got on it?
9.8.
9.8. Wow, okay. Close to a perfect movie there.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, I'm sitting at a 4.5, which is something that's basically I love this movie, but it's not quite a masterpiece. It's teetering.
I got you.
It's really
I
good.
think it's a masterpiece of film, but that's a controversial opinion.
Well, controversy is the name of our podcast.
No, it's not. I
May
thought
as
you
well
were
be.
going to say it's your middle name.
No, mine. Well, I'm not going to give out my middle name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it
I'm not too trustworthy.
Is it Danger?
Nope. Definitely not that.
Bet you can't guess mine.
I don't actually think I know your middle name, so I probably couldn't.
You don't know my middle name?
Grayson.
How many years have we been friends?
I don't know. Honestly,
this
we
is
had.
really disappointing to me.
Do you know my middle name?
No.
I thought you did.
Yeah, it's give me just 30 seconds here.
Do not go on Facebook. I'm not even on Facebook, so you probably won't be able to find it.
Yeah, why would I?
Well, I don't know. I don't actually have any social media.
Oh, I do know it. Yeah,
You figured it out?
I know your dad's middle name. Is that weird?
What's my dad's middle name?
Wesley?
Yeah. Why do you know my dad's middle name?
I don't know why I know that, Noah.
Did it pop out of your head, or did you look that up?
I did not look that up. It just popped into my head.
That's funny.
That's really strange. I probably saw it on the internet somewhere. I know your dad's big into Facebook.
Yeah, he's a Facebookaholic, so
He's
I wouldn't be surprised if it was on there.
He's a Zuckerbot. That's what I call adults who are obsessed with Facebook.
Oh boy.
Zuckerbots.
Zuckerbot. That's pretty good. I like that.
Must consume social media.
They got a pretty good marketplace now. I'm kind of sad because I don't have it now, because I kind of see like a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like he'll send me marketplace stuff, and I'm kind of wishing I had one now because of that.
I wanna buy a Xbox One off there.
Yeah, I'll normally do Craigslist with that sort of thing, but I'm missing it because they probably have some good deals.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you want to move on to another thing?
Yeah, what you got, buddy?
Okay, so let's see. Um, I did pick up Fallout 76.
Oh
It's a
boy.
pretty
Opening up this
controversial.
can of worms, huh?
This can of worms right here.
Okay, so
Gosh,
we talked about our concerns last podcast and how we
yeah.
thought it was going to go on release. And
Mhm.
I would dare say that it went about how we thought it was.
It probably went about how we thought. Yeah,
Like
I would say
very
maybe
very very mixed.
yeah, like basically 50. Well, I don't. It's probably more than that. I think that most people probably don't like the game than do like the game.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I have Metacritic pulled up, and it's sitting at a 2.9 user.
Oh my
And the
god.
yeah, so it's not good. Um, and the actual critic score is 55, and that's mainly people who are mixed. So we got 3 positive, 5 negative, 18 mixed on the critic reviews. So
That's
I'd say
crazy.
that's leaning more into the negative than it is the positive.
That's crazy.
And it's kind of insane for a Bethesda RPG to hit something like that. But you know, the game that it is, I'm not surprised. So I'll give you like my initial impression.
Okay.
My initial impression is this: I can't wait to play it in a year. That's basically my initial impression because I think it's pretty accurate. Because I think that in a year, this is probably going to be an awesome game. Right now, it's okay.
What do you mean?
Like it's giving me very much No Man's Sky vibes, where it's like it released, it was crap, and over the next couple of years, it's gotten a lot. But like it's No Man's Sky is actually like a really enjoyable game. They just released another update the other day.
Yeah. Let me ask you though. When was the last time you and I played No Man's Sky since our last session? Yeah.
It's been a while, and that's the thing about that game is I basically just play it whenever the updates come out, and a new one came out, so I'll probably jump back in. Yeah, there's another update.
Is it big?
So it's not the biggest one, but it has like a lot of visual and like planetary updates where you can. There's a lot more variety in planets apparently,
All right. Cool.
and there's also like new like enemies and flora that like there's I saw on the trailer like there's rocks, these like rock, almost like dune style sandworms, but they were like rocks that would like swim around the ground, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I enjoy that game, and I think that's gotten significantly better since it first released. And I'm kind of feeling the same way with 76. Like in a year, it'll probably be good. And honestly, for a PC, it'll probably be better in less than a year because of the modding. Because I already have a couple mods on it.
Really?
Yeah, they've been pretty quick to put some out.
Are they hard to install?
Not really. I almost feel like they're easier to install than the Nexus way.
What?
Which I'm sure will change because I only have a couple in. Like I have like a better inventory one in, and I have a like plans glow one, and then I have like I have a better camera one because the Fallout 4 and 76 both suffer from the stupid problem where like in third person when you're like aiming down, like when you're aiming in third person, you just see the back. You just see the back, the back of your body, and this dumb arm piece, like dumb armor piece on your shoulder. So you don't even see the gun. So they made a mod to fix that, and I put that in, and I put a better inventory management because basically what they did is it's pretty lazy. Like there's a lot of lazy things that I can totally tell are like super like just thrown together. Like the inventory system is basically no different than Fallout 4, but they have a lot of different mechanics involved that have now made it annoying with stuff. Like they have a food meter and they have like a water meter. And now whenever I'm playing it, I'm like, all right, well, I want to drink some water. And I have to scroll through and figure out what would give me water, what would give me food, and then what's going to give me health. So none of those are sorted. So you just have to scrounge around in your inventory. And basically you just have to scroll, like do your scroll wheel and look to see what would, like in the corner, what would increase whichever thing you're worried about. And that's the best way to find it, unless you put a mod on, which I did, which makes it a lot easier.
That's crazy,
but yeah, so it's just like a lot of shoehorned in features that I'm not crazy about. But yeah, so I would say their initial impressions are pretty accurate, if not worse. Like I think the game probably came out worse than, maybe a little bit worse than I thought.
Yeah, man. I mean, what can I say? That's all That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty much the consensus is that it's not good, which is a shame because I love Fallout. I'm a huge Fallout fan. Probably one of my favorite games is Fallout.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's a shame. I got a lot to talk about on it. Can we just dive in?
Yeah.
All right. So a couple things. The camp system is kind of interesting because you remember in Fallout 4 where they would have like you could take over settlements.
Yeah.
You cleared it, and
Oh,
then you
I
activated
know about Fallout 4, dude.
Yeah.
Just look at my library. Look how many hours I got on that. 550 right now.
Dang. Yeah, I think I'm sitting around like 300 on that.
I'm at 550 with Fallout 4. I think it's my... No, it's not the most hours I have on a game, because I have 656 on a different game, but we won't get into that today.
Yeah, I think my first highest is probably Dirt Rally, but that's probably my second highest. But yeah, I enjoy the crap out of Fallout 4, and I think I love the settlement system where you could take it over and then kind of build up, kind of stake your claim in the world and kind of build up your area.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that gameplay loop where you'd go out, you'd fight stuff, clear stuff out, bring back materials, build up your settlement more. That was amazing. I thought that was an awesome gameplay loop.
I agree.
And it does not transfer the best here. One thing being the case is where your inventory is minuscule. Like you can't put that much stuff into it unless you spec into the strength tree, which I have. So because you basically have to. And then you have like these stashes. So if you go to like any sort of stash, it always has your it always has your stuff in it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I like that feature. But it's like limited to 400 carry capacity.
Huh.
So basically, like right now where I am in the game, I can't walk. I'm completely over encumbered. I can't dump anything into the stash. And I can't place down any other things because I don't have the plans for them. So basically, I'm stuck with all this stuff. And I'll have to like do this tedious chore of like turning through my inventories and trying to like get rid of stuff that I don't need, compare things like if I need this or not. And it's just made it like so much harder to play the game because I have to get through all these chores to actually enjoy the game. So it's kind of been a nightmare, that aspect of it, which I think they said they were going to maybe improve, but I don't know. It's kind of a disaster at this point. It doesn't take too much away from the game. It almost prevents you from enjoying it to some degree because you can't really enjoy it because you have to like do these chores to try and sort your inventory out so you're not over encumbered. So yeah, there's that whole aspect. The glitches are pretty bad. I mean that's kind of a Bethesda game. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like it comes with a whole mess of glitches that you have to handle.
What have you bumped into so far glitch wise?
So games crashed twice on me, which is great. Let's see. I've had some weird ones where like world objects just wouldn't spawn. So I'm like walking around and there's just stuff floating, which is I didn't really ever get that in like Fallout or anything. I guess I'm just getting it now because it's like online, so things will spawn. 4. You got it in 4? I never really had that problem.
Tons of times.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess it's kind of different from everybody. Like everybody gets different ones. I got one where like my character like certain like graphics on your screen will stay stuck there. Mm-hmm. Like I was over encumbered and then I dumped all my stuff in my stash and then I was still over encumbered, but I could run.
Yeah.
And then there will be times where I'm over encumbered, but I can sprint. And then there'll be times where like I'm over encumbered, but then the bar will go up and down just sporadically for some, like your action points bar will go up and down sporadically. Mm-hmm. So I have no flipping idea what's going on with that. That's kind of a disaster. And it's really poorly optimized. So it's basically like, you know, you walk into this place and then it just starts like lagging and there's all these lag spikes, which is kind of, I guess because the world is so big and it's loading chunks and it's online and it's a 20-year-old engine. So they thought that was the good idea to stay with the 20-year-old engine, which, gosh, they just need to get a new one. Like they really they just need to get a new engine because it's not the best to make an MMO off of. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. I can run through kind of the rest of them. PvP's basically it's not even there. The whole perk cards. I actually like the perk card system. So basically, the way the perk cards work is like when you level up, you get the opportunity to pick a new perk card. And then from there, you basically have this whole stack of cards. And depending on how level, like if you're level 8 in strength, for instance, you can put 8 perk cards in.
Oh.
And it's I kind of like that. So it's kind of made it interesting because you can swap in and out basically. So you can have like a super leveled up, crafting perk.
Uh-huh.
You can swap that in when you're crafting, swap it back out when you go into combat, which is kind of cool.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, and I think the map is pretty awesome. I think Appalachia is really, really well designed. I think it's a beautiful map. I wish they would actually figure out how to do grass because the grass does not look that great though, and I think that's one of the big optimization issues. Do you want to talk about the VAT system?
Not really.
Not really. It's a joke. It's bad. And actually, this is interesting. So they have a microtransaction marketplace thing, which is a shame because those are terrible. Do you know how much one square of like flooring is? Like a different like shade of flooring is? Do you know how much that is?
What do you mean?
Like basically you can buy you can buy different skins and stuff.
Yeah.
You can also buy different things for like your camp. Like you can buy different types of doors and stuff like that. Like basically the plans to them that you couldn't find in the world. It is like $8 if you want to buy like a different type of flooring.
That's
It's $8 for one.
That is the most terrible thing I've ever heard.
It's insane. It's really insane. And you can earn it. Like you can earn the credits in game, and it's not terribly too hard to earn them. But it's just absurd to have like a different color square floor. It's like $8. It's insane.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So it's something else. There's a lot of problems with it. I can't wait to play it in a year. I'm gonna keep playing it because I'm enjoying myself. But
so
yeah, I think
enjoying it.
I am enjoying it. There's a lot of negatives that I have with it, but the main gameplay loop is still pretty similar since it was in Fallout 4, where you're going out, you're clearing stuff out, doing some quests. The quests are not half bad. They're not as good as they used to be, but they're not half bad.
Well, there are no human NPCs.
Yeah, which I think is a big problem. I think they definitely need to put NPCs in at some point because it's pretty dead. It's a pretty lifeless, dead world without NPCs. So I don't know. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it so far. I have a lot of problems with it that hopefully will be resolved. But yeah, I don't know. It's hopefully going to get better because it's in a pretty crummy state right now. A couple updates have come out which have improved it. I think it's a little more stable now. Optimization is a little bit better. It's still optimized terribly, but I think that's just because of the engine being 20 years old. So I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I'm gonna be able to upgrade my computer about in a month here, so then maybe I'll be able to run it at max.
Yeah, I mean, I can run it at max. It's just it hiccups. Like basically, it's gonna hiccup any other time you play the game with more RAM or even a better graphics card because it's got that problem where Fallout, like whenever you walk into the city, it just gives you all these gives you this terrible frame rate. And that was present in Fallout 4. Like max settings, no problem, running around, perfect 60 frames. Walk into a city, it dropped down to like 45, and then we get a little bit better, and then it dropped down to 45, and that's still here. I don't know if that's really going to go away with really anything.
I would get as low as 20.
Really, 20s? Wow, that's bad.
And that's base game, no mods.
Really,
on Xbox One.
No, yeah. Oh my gosh, the Fallout 4 on the console was a joke. It was so bad.
Yeah.
The frame rate was terrible. That's why I didn't get it because it was just terrible.
It worked great on PC.
No,
I never really had any problems with it on PC.
Yeah, I had very minimal problems with it on PC. I mean, when I put mods in, yeah, it started to lag a little. But
to be fair, that game was kind of made for PC.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. I think the fact is, if you're going to put a game on a console, I think you should just make it better optimized.
Well, see, that was my big issue with 76. I was like, okay, everybody here is saying that it's horribly optimized for PC. Where was the disconnect? Because Fallout 4 was stupendously optimized for PC. It was made for PC, and where did that change? What happened?
Yeah, I think it was just the change to multiplayer was really what gave it so many problems because what I feel like is um, it's just not the platform is not made for multiple like there's like a dozen or two players on one server in one world. I don't think it's really built for that.
Yeah.
I think it's just built for single player, and not having to deal with different instances of stuff on different mobs and things like that, or containers. I don't think it was built to instance multiple versions of that for each individual player. So I think it's just they really I think the engine is really where they went wrong with that. If they want to do an MMO version of Fallout, they should change the engine because it just can't support it. I think that's where the optimization problems are really coming from.
Yeah.
And gosh, there wasn't even an FOV slider.
Really?
And yeah, and I don't even know how much. I don't think there's really been. Did they have an FOV slider in Fallout 4 for PC?
No, you had to adjust it through the
Ionize. Oh, the
console
command.
or through the
Yeah.
Ionize.
Yeah, and really, I don't really have a problem with that, except for the fact that, I mean, Bethesda games have been PC, mainly PC games for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think the absence of a FOV slider is terrible. I think there's a huge absence of settings. Like, it just looks kind of funny a lot of times. Like the game looks a little weird, looks a little off, and it just feels a little bit like a console game where they have the FOV locked at like 70, and you have to go into the Ionize and you have to create a custom Ioni to actually get some of your settings back, which is just weird to me. Like you can't enable, like you can't enable or disable God rays. Like you have to do that with a custom Ioni, and you can't enable or disable depth of field without.
You can't
going
disable
in.
God rays?
No, you can't. You have to
I
create
turn those off all the time.
I love God rays, so I don't really have a problem with that.
But my computer can't take
Yeah.
it, really.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you should have an option to change it. It's the most bare bones setting section I've ever seen. Like it's terrible. And for it being a PC, like it's supposed to be like a PC game, like it's Bethesda, it's Fallout. It should be a PC, well optimized for PC, and it's just not. Like it feels, it's really like, it just feels like it almost what it feels like is a console game that they ported to PC. Is exactly what this game feels like.
Yeah.
And that's travesty to me for being a Fallout game.
Well, I'm probably gonna buy it here tomorrow. You sent me the link that's showing that it's on sale.
Yeah, I mean I think that's kind of a marker of like how this game's going when it's already on sale for like super cheap.
I loved Fallout 3 and 4, man. I think the story and the lore is incredible. I still have never played New Vegas.
Oh, New Vegas is great. I love New Vegas.
I've heard it's like a 10 out of 10 for a lot of people.
Oh, it's really good. I just picked up all the DLC too, and I was gonna play it, but I put a bunch of mods on it, and it made it basically unplayable, and then I gave up, and then I stopped playing it. Which is kind of like my Fallout experience, where I would get really into it, I'd be playing it, something break, I try and fix it, spend an hour doing it, and I'd be like, whatever.
Yep.
Which is kind of a shame.
The Fallout experience.
Yeah. And I kind of wish they would just do a remaster like they did with Skyrim. I played the crap out of that.
Dude, that'd be
if they remastered
so awesome.
Like really like a Fallout 3 remaster.
Oh my gosh, dude, that would be amazing.
It would be really good. Like if they just did everything in the Fallout 4 like grade engine, I'd be totally fine with that.
I would not. I just would want a graphical remaster.
Well, I mean, I like to say I'd be fine with that, but I think there'd be so many like weird little problems. So I would love it if they just did it in like the whole like the same way they did Skyrim Special Edition. They basically did it in like the Fallout. They didn't do it in the Fallout engine because it's all the creation engine, but it was like the same caliber. As Fallout 4.
It was only a graphical upgrade.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mainly like graphical, but I guess trying to fix some of the bugs.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Fallout
still
New Vegas Special Edition.
Yeah, Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3 Special Edition. Gosh, I would love to have those because I think those games are great.
Well, to be fair, Fallout New Vegas came out in a time where other games looked way better than it.
Oh yeah,
Way better. So I mean, they really, really need a graphical upgrade for that game. There are some mods that do it, but yeah.
Well, the problem is the game is so old,
Mm.
and like my PC it's newer, and I have like a GTX 1070, and I have Windows 10 running. It's just going to have a problem with all that new hardware and software, and yeah, a graphical update would be great because it's like the hardware and software has evolved way past catering towards games that old to where trying to put mods or even trying to run it gets problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's definitely due for a special edition.
I agree. I would love that. I'd probably buy that all over again.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think they put Skyrim on the Switch, and
Oh my gosh.
What?
I just can't with Skyrim, man. I love Skyrim so much. And I just created a new character the other day. And I love it so much, but why are they releasing it over and over and over again?
The money, man. The cha-ching. That's why they're doing it.
They're not even making that much, are they?
I bought it, I have it on PC. I bought it on PC twice, and I bought it on the Switch.
You have a Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, I have a Switch.
I didn't know that.
We've talked about it before.
No, we have not.
We definitely talked about it.
I have never heard you talk about the fact that you have a Nintendo Switch.
Well, you heard it here, folks.
Is it any good?
Yeah, it runs pretty well. I think the Switch controller is a little like the one that comes in the box with the Switch, like the two Joy-Cons, and then you fit it into the piece that's kind of like a regular controller.
Yeah.
I don't think that's really that good of a way to play the game. So I bought these like little things that go on the joysticks, and it make it a little bit better because the joysticks are really sunk in. So like it doesn't have that much room to like move the joysticks to where it actually will like be responsive, and you can be really like specific about how you're doing it. It's basically just like you just click it over and then just the screen goes. So that's been a little bit of a challenge. I didn't play too much. I did play it a little bit, and I enjoyed it. It runs pretty well, and I think they can do a Fallout 3 remaster, put it on the Switch. I think that'd sell like hotcakes, and on the PC, of course.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess it depends. Bethesda,
I mean,
man. They're so frustrating, but I love
them. They're
so
really
much.
frustrating. If they just stopped trying to make different Skyrim ports and maybe took a little bit more time on this game, I think that their community would be a lot happier right now.
I saw a meme the other day that was like the episode of SpongeBob with the kid crying about the pistachio ice cream.
I saw that
like,
too.
We want multiplayer Fallout, and he's like, okay, here you go, and it's Fallout 76, and they're like, I hate this game, and they're like, then why did you ask for it?
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely it. I mean, I feel like that meme is pretty accurate. Like, I think most people wanted it. I had heard it from sources. I think most people probably wanted the like a Skyrim multiplayer. Like, I think I heard more about that than I did Fallout.
Elder Scrolls multiplayer exists already, but they're making a mod right now for Skyrim and Skyrim Special Edition that lets you play multiplayer. We should try that out, actually.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
But from what I've heard, it's really hard to install.
Yeah, I think I looked into it once, and I was like, that just seems too confusing. Because I think I tried to do that at one point, but it was in a really, really early stage. But yeah, I think it'd probably work. Honestly, Skyrim makes more sense to me than Fallout, just because Fallout, like the VAT system, was so integral in the Fallout games, and it stops time, slows down time. I don't understand why they decided that this would work in a multiplayer setting better than a Skyrim game would.
Yeah.
Because in Skyrim, there's no slow mo really.
Hmm.
I mean, there's like those finishers, but you can just cut that out. They weren't important.
Yeah, but Fallout relies so heavily on VATs.
Yeah, because the gunplay in the Fallout games is terrible.
Yeah. Finishers
I mean,
in Skyrim are just randomized.
yeah, it's basically like the sniper game. What's that game called?
Sniper Elite?
Yeah. I mean, like it's basically the same as Sniper Elite, where you could. I mean, they were like amazing in that game, and a little bit different because they were kind of integral in that game too.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were kind of, you could take them or leave in Skyrim, and I think that would just fit the multiplayer platform way better than a Fallout game would.
Well, Elder Scrolls 6 is in development, so
That and Starfield, which I'm pretty excited about.
yeah, we'll see.
Yep.
Hopefully,
I
they
mean, they're
build.
probably
If they don't build an entirely new engine for Starfield, I might give up until I buy the game. Inevitably, when it comes out, I've given up on Bethesda. Buys it immediately.
yeah. No, I'm in the same boat. I'm done with Bethesda. These bugs aren't funny anymore, and I will pre-order any game that comes out the first day.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't even play the beta for 76 because I was like, it's just going to be a broken piece of trash when I log on. I was like,
Yet
and
you
that's
were
basically
so excited for it when we talked about it.
I was, and I was contemplating it, and I was like, is this really worth spending $60 right now? And I think I made the right decision by just waiting because it wasn't worth playing because it was just a piece of garbage.
You spent 60 on it?
Yeah, I bought it from Bethesda.net.
All right.
And I guess I'll have to make a new character when you start because I'm already at pretty high level of level 16.
Wow, that's so high.
Yeah, it's really not.
I think
There's one.
Fallout 4 character's like level 128 or something.
I think I got up to like 70 or 80, but I didn't get that. I didn't get up to like hundreds.
It's pretty absurd, but I keep downloading more mods that open up new areas, and so I can keep leveling. And the enemies still level with me.
Dang. I was about to say, I don't know what you're doing to get that high. Where did you set up base in Fallout 4?
Everywhere, man. Like on my main account, all my settlements are like just huge. Everywhere.
Tip top?
Yeah, it takes me like 30 minutes to load into any location.
Oh my god.
It's not 30 minutes, but it's a long time. It's probably at like 2 minutes.
See, I took a different route. Like with Fallout 4, I built up a couple, and then I was like, screw this. I looked up what the biggest settlement was because I don't really like the whole I appreciate the system where they have the Brahmin that goes between bases or whatever. But I was like, I don't really want to like set up that many bases because all I cared about was really like focusing on one. So I went to the island, which was the biggest one, and I just built that. I built that place to crap, man. I had like barriers around everything. I had all these huge defenses. I had basically I had to change the build limit so that I could build like a little city, like a little town hall, and all these different things. And there was like a slums place, and then I had like a huge barn, and then my house, and all this different stuff. And I basically just built that whole place up. I just skipped doing all the other bases because I didn't really care for it. And anytime it was attacked, it was like 5 seconds, and then like all the enemies were taken out. But yeah, I really enjoy that aspect of Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Although the bases in 76 are super small. Like your camp area is really tiny. It's not big at all.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It's kind of a shame because I enjoy that whole building aspect, and they've kind of taken it away because it's so tiny.
Yeah.
They do have public workshops though, which are kind of interesting. I thought they would be kind of like a way that you can make your camp sort of permanent, but it's not. It's basically like a King of the Hill type scenario where you hold it, you get the resources, and you kind of get out. Which is a shame because they're pretty big building areas, but yeah, they disappear as soon as you leave the map. They're like instanced just like per session, basically, which is kind of lame. I don't know. I got a lot of problems with it.
Sounds like a jumbled mess.
It kind of is. I mean, that's kind of what I come to expect from Bethesda at this point, but I'm a little bit sick of it.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I have yet to see it myself, so maybe we'll talk about it again next podcast.
Yeah, maybe we can offer up maybe a little bit more for it because I haven't really played with anybody,
Yeah, so
which is kind of the big aspect of it.
I'll probably buy it tomorrow, and then we can play a little bit if I'm not exhausted after work. But yeah, so that's that. We'll
There we have it.
We'll revisit that at a later time.
Definitely.
All right. So what else did you have?
I haven't really been playing anything else besides that.
Fair enough.
I don't really have too much else. I don't actually have anything else to talk about. I did have one political thing. I don't know if you want to do that or if you had something else in mind.
We can get into it, man. What you got?
Okay. I just put this is kind of old news, but I felt like it was worth sharing.
Okay.
So the whole Avenatti thing has been pretty interesting.
I don't know who this guy is, by the way.
Okay. So he was the I don't know if I got the right phrasage right. I don't even know if that's a word, but he was like the lawyer for Stormy Daniels.
Oh yeah.
Which is the
that porn star that supposedly had sex with Trump.
The actress, yes, that supposedly
that he supposedly paid to have sex with.
Yeah, I'm kind of like this. What is the point of paying at this point?
Because I wouldn't have sex with Donald Trump for free.
No. He didn't. It wasn't a prostitute situation. He paid her off to not say anything.
Oh, he paid her off to not say anything.
Yeah, he didn't pay. I don't think he paid for it. It wasn't prostitution. He had sex with her, and then he paid her off not to say anything. It was hush money, my understanding. So I don't get
because he cheated on his wife.
Yeah, but it was going to come out anyway. Like that's what I don't understand is the idea that this is going to I can make it go away. When has it really ever worked? Like when has hush money ever worked?
That was pretty dumb on his part, in my opinion. But yeah, I think anybody who cheats on their wife is kind of an idiot. So
I mean, yeah, I lost a lot of respect for Trump with that, more than probably anything else that he's done or said.
Yep.
But I felt
he's just another rich scumbag, man.
Yeah, I mean he's done politics aside and his policies aside. I think he's kind of a douchebag. Yeah, he's a little bit of a douchebag. I like his policies and stuff like that. That's all fine and dandy. But yeah, he's kind of a little scummy cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
But
But
I don't think we put him in.
He's always kind of been known as a womanizer. Like all of his wives have been like models and actresses or whatever. All of his girlfriends and all that. I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, I mean he's not the most. I wasn't surprised. I lost respect, but I wasn't really surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
But then he basically what ended up happening is she talked about it. She told the press about it, and there's lots of descriptions of his family jewels, which was interesting to hear the president's penis being described as a mushroom. I surprised we're. I mean, I guess this is politics now, but
this is it. This is American politics.
This is it. Yep. And so anyway, he ended up. Funny thing, he ended up calling her horse face, which is just like it just makes it even funnier to me.
This is like an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I was just thinking that it really is like.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, Trump's Frank, obviously.
Well, yeah, of course he's Frank, man. Who else could be Frank Reynolds?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
I paid you that money to be quiet.
Yeah, and then she wasn't quiet. But anyway, back to Avenatti. Yeah, basically, he was. Yeah, basically, this Joker is apparently her attorney or whatever. I could care less. But apparently he was one of a vocal person in the Me Too movement, the believe all, maybe not necessarily the Me Too, but the believe all women sort of idea that's been
Uh-huh.
uh, pushed in the media,
Why do
which
people care about him, first of all? He's
because
he's lawyer to a porn star. I
yeah, I
love
don't,
that I love that that's like an admirable job these days, you know? Like if he were to like run for president of something, cuz I know that he's like joked around about that, or maybe he was serious, I don't know, but if he were to like run for president and they'd look at his credentials, yes, I was an attorney for a adult film actress. A real professional, buddy.
yeah, I mean,
Straight
there's
to the
nothing
point.
but professionalism on his resume.
I'm sure that
Um,
he's like a legitimately good lawyer, you know. I'm
no,
sure
I'm
he
sure,
is.
of
But
course.
at the same time, like, dude, you're a,
I
you're a porn actress's lawyer, dude. I mean, come on.
yeah,
Grow up.
it's pretty funny, and the fact that I think he did a video about how he was like, oh, the Trump, the day our president called someone a horse face, a strong female a horse face.
Strong
Is
female.
it? I don't know. I'm making that up, but basically he went on about how sad it is that Trump has called this lady a horse face, which I'm like, you're taking a completely different approach. I would be laughing. I laughed my head off when I heard that he called her a horse face because it's
Dude,
hilarious.
don't you think that there have been like sex scenes she's probably done where guys have called her a lot worse things? I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
come on.
what I don't understand is how she's paraded as, like a feminist. Is that what feminism is now?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it's hot
I'm a,
garbage, but I
I'm
guess that's
a
included
dude,
now.
man. I'm not in on it.
You're not a woman.
I Grayson Perkins am not a woman.
Okay, so you wouldn't be able to understand her, so you shouldn't make a comment because of your toxic
I mean,
masculinity.
I don't know. Like, I don't mean it like that. I just mean like, I don't know, dude. I don't really care that much because it's all ridiculous.
I think it's pretty ridiculous. The one reason I bring this whole thing up is just because of the pure joy that graced my face when he was accused of abuse, um, when he was such a huge proponent of the believe all women thing or whatever it was, and in his response to the allegation saying that it was like a farce or something, that it was set up, and how he didn't do anything, and it's just
Let me
how
tell you,
can
dude. The majority of super hardcore male feminists who are super into this third wave feminism stuff,
Mhm.
you know, majority of the dudes that I've met seem like okay kind of guys. You know, maybe they're little on the uh, a little on the weird side, and that's all right. But you know,
Sure, to each his own.
everybody's weird. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a weird person, but like, what I mean to say is that a lot of the time, guys who are getting accused of sexual abuse and physical abuse and harassment and stuff like this are very huge proponents of activism as far as like feminism and stuff like that goes. It's a whole wolf in sheep's clothing type deal. I think a lot of the times predatory guys do it so they can get in there and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get so many chicks because I'm such a hardcore feminist," you know. Oh, I'm like, it's just kind of pathetic and sad, you know. So I think it's definitely not surprising to me. I mean, look at Harvey Weinstein, dude. He was huge into like the third wave feminism movement and like a really huge supporter of the DNC and liberalism. And you know, while I don't think those things are 100% connected all the time, I think that uh, that the current Democratic Party has, in a lot of ways, sort of inspired this uprising of the Me Too movement and third wave feminism. And so because of that, the things are associated quite a lot. And so, I mean, it was definitely a wolf in sheep's clothing situation. They're doing it to get in with these women. They're contacting them. They're getting to know them through all these different activist things, and it's just sick. It's just sick. It makes me sick. And what really gets me is that why haven't people learned by now? You know, when you got a super creepy guy at some parade march who's stalking you, at some women's pride march, and he's being super creepy, like, I mean, come on. You know, what do you expect? He's going there because you're there. He's going where the action is, you know? And
Yeah, I mean, just like you say, definitely wolf in sheep's clothing. They're really only doing it's they're just doing it for their own gain, their own agenda. To think that, you know, uh, all these men, that are prominent in the Democratic Party, are not doing it for personal gain, or even in Hollywood, for if they're not doing it for personal gain.
Oh God,
I don't know why
Hollywood
they're
is the worst, man. You know,
it's the worst. It's
and while I love like the opportunities that Hollywood gives to filmmakers, I also think that it's, man, like there's too many whispers for it to be a coincidence that multiple people say that there's like an underground sex ring in Hollywood. It's too many people saying it for it to be a coincidence.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was. I mean, that it's so
It's
jacked up
kind of
there.
a conspiracy theory at this point, but at the same time, it's not. It wouldn't be surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things. I mean, people just break the rules there for personal gain, and on both sides. And it's a Wild West over there.
Well, a lot of the most prominent filmmakers of the golden age of film, the 20s through the 40s, were really just womanizers. A lot of them had a lot of sexual abuse that they did. They were kind of how do I'm missing out on the word, but they were just kind of scumbags. Guys like Howard Hughes, like he was pretty bad, man. Like he treated women terribly. He took advantage of them. He used them to get sex appeal for one of his movies, and he was making a lot of money, and he was a really smart guy, and he was an inventor and kind of a genius, but he was kind of a scumbag too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too familiar with them, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm a huge fan of Arrested Development. I know you are.
Yeah.
And I think do you know the name of the older guy that plays in that show?
No.
You know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, apparently he's kind of in that same vein where he, like, I can't remember exactly what happened, but there's something that happened on set where he was just being really, like, verbally abusive to the lady who plays Lucille.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, I can totally see that because A, he's older,
He
and
looks
B,
the type.
he does. And I think that sort of thing, like, I don't know why, but like Harvey Weinstein, he looked the type. What's his name? The stand-up that would invite actresses in to his what's his name? Blanking on his name.
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. Yeah, like, I mean, he looked the type. I mean, did people think that he wasn't weird?
I don't know that he was a woman abuser, though. I think he was just.
He was just super gross.
He's just kind of a sicko.
Yeah.
Or he was into some, he was into some weird stuff or something. He's just sort of a gross guy.
And I really think that people in Hollywood, I think they knew that, and I think that's just kind of the thing. And the fact that it takes so long for this thing to these things to come out is it's a problem on a lot of sides. I think one being very obviously the person doing it, Louis C.K. being gross, Harvey Weinstein being gross. I think they're huge. They're obviously the problem, and I think that what contributes to it, just when people kind of turned a blind eye, just because of that, the idea of that's just Hollywood, that's just how it is, or that's just how you get ahead, or all these different things. And I think that's, I think that's a problem on both sides, and I think that it's not really going to get fixed until kind of right now. Like, it's kind of scary to be like, an executive at this point with all Me Too. I mean,
gotta watch
I
what
think
you
that
say, man.
you really do, and I think that's
it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, I think it's done a lot of good. I think it really has, because it makes people scared to do stuff, and I think that's a good thing, because
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of guys who would be wanting to do stuff like that, and that's kind of scared them away from it. I think that's good. I think it's also scared normal people away from just being normal, which I think is
yeah.
Like, I think guys are afraid to just talk to women on the phone, and I can't corroborate any of this, but I mean,
Yeah.
you
make a offhand sexual joke.
Yeah,
and
I would.
and you just gotta be careful, because someone could take that as really inappropriate, and you can get written up at work, or worse, get fired. So it's just
It's kind of scary. It's a scary time. I think that's done a lot of good.
Blessing and a curse.
Some bad. Yeah, exactly. You take the good with the bad, really. And I'm honestly glad that the Me Too thing has happened. I think it's kind of spun out of control a little bit, but I think that overall, I think it's done some good.
Yeah.
That's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I am perfectly in support of anything that's going to call out sexual abusers and people like that. But it's kind of hard when that stuff sort of intersects with people who are just trying to live, and people who have made some mistakes and who are changed people because of it. For example, the when they fired
James Gunn.
Yeah,
I was just thinking of that.
That wasn't cool, man.
It was ridiculous. I saw a meme the other day where it was Disney saying, it was we won't stand for these comments, even though they're 10 years old or something.
Yeah.
And then you look at Disney's history with the anti-Semitic stuff that they've done, and the Hitler jokes and all these different things. I'm like, that's still Disney owned.
Double standard.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous.
Plus,
I think
they had to have done a background check on him thoroughly when they hired him in the first place.
I mean, it's Disney. I'd be surprised if they didn't know every single thing.
Where's the disconnect? Huh? Wait,
well, I think
at what point can you say we didn't know about it? Well, of course you did. You hired the guy. What? I mean, what?
I think the reason that there's a disconnect there is just media, sort of the media really drives the narrative behind companies. They can destroy people, they can build people up, and I think honestly Disney got afraid, and they were just let's cut ties.
Yeah,
I mean, it happened with PewDiePie.
Yeah, but then again, he said some pretty not okay stuff.
He did say some not okay stuff, and I'm glad that he's gone independent, because I feel like I can enjoy his content more.
I agree.
But I mean, I don't know. It's a double standard. It's a crazy industry to be in, and I don't know how anybody can really feel safe in it.
Yeah.
Or comfortable, But
yes,
that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess.
I don't think I've ever heard someone say that in a serious tone.
I see it all the time.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
It just crumbles that way.
Well, I think that that about wraps it up. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I really don't. I think we kind of we talked about. I think we covered everything.
All right. Well, in closing, they did surgery on a grape.
They did surgery. Yep, that happened. They did surgery on one.
That's so.
I'm loving that.
That's so dumb.
Although I will say, I am looking into getting the podcast on Apple Podcasts. That way, you don't have to have your phone open while you're playing it, which I've heard from our fan base is not the best. So I'll be working on that. Try and get that on there. That way, you guys can just listen on the go. You don't have to worry about keeping your phone open.
Absolutely. Do you know
how
to? Does it cost money to do it?
Nope, it's free. You just have to submit it. I just gotta get the stuff together, get it submitted, and hopefully it'll be approved.
Cool, man.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. Well, fans of the podcast, We are in the process of making some social media. In fact, by the time this video goes up, we might already have it up. Who knows? It's a mystery. That all depends on my work ethic. And that is up in the air at this point. If by the time this video is out, there is not any social media, please join our Discord server. It's getting a little hot in there. It's getting a little fiery. We got a few more members than we did last time. Spicy indeed, Noah. You can say that again.
Spicy indeed. The memes are flowing. The political discourse is bopping.
Not really. It's
not really. No, it's
no one knows what they're talking about.
There's some work.
Everyone just keeps memeing. No one cares.
And you know what? That's okay. Memes over politics any day. Really.
Oh, I would take comedy over anything political any day.
I mean, I take
make me laugh.
Take comedy everything. So that's yeah. So
join the Discord server.
That's doing well. So we'll have some more stuff for you guys.
Yes. All right. Well, that about wraps it up. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode 2 weeks from now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.